Hello and welcome back to more Live the Dream Cube. Oh, the Shelldock Isle is in here? Oh, so many good cards. I feel like Shelldock Isle, this is the first card I'm seeing from this pack, just seems absolutely insane in this cube where there's so many like expensive payoffs and a lot of cool ways to draw cards. So it's just a land that draws you a card because you put a card under it, you can cast it, but it also generates an insane amount of mana. Like imagine if you just do something like play Shelldock, and then you get like a Kogla off of it. This card drew you a card and added like 6 mana, and it's just a land. That's so much value. So my first instinct is to just take that card and ignore the rest of the pack, but we'll look at the rest of the pack. I think Elspeth Conquers Death also seems quite good. Again, most of the important stuff in this cube is big. So being able to exile stuff and return big stuff is a lot of value. And then I was very impressed with Sunblast Angel in the last draft. And then there's some good fixing, Hydroid Krasis. We're just going to take Shelldock Isle though. This card is unbelievably strong. Also, of course I'm going to draft card draw. So, what is it Chemister do? 3 mana, 1/3 haste. Exile a card, instant or sorcery from your graveyard. And then you can sacrifice him to cast any number of cards exiled with him. That's kind of fun. I think it's a little bit slow. I'm not a huge fan of how long this would take, but if you can pull this off, it would be really awesome. And it does have haste. Actually, because it has haste, it's not that slow, but it is quite a bit like weak to removal because you basically have to untap with it and spend a lot of mana to get it to work. I'm looking at Underground Sea personally. Goes well with Shelldock Isle and just sets us up to do cool things later on. And we're missing out on the Savai Triome, but I'm not super interested in Mardu colors, especially because I already have Shelldock Isle. I'm quite incentivized to take blue, like card draw, things like that. And yeah, I think Mardu's more aggro-ish. So we'll just take Underground Sea. Villainous Wealth is something I really like too. This is a very fun, mostly in Commander card, because you just get to kill your opponent with their own cards. But it is one of the more fun, like, X cost and win conditions. So I do like that. Ooh, okay. So this one, the Teamer one I like a lot. Oh, there's another Pyromancer's Goggles. Whoever made this cube found my weakness. I love this card more than I should. And there's also Jaya Ballard in the pack too. So we have two different directions we can go. We can draft a relatively reasonable blue deck with like Baron and Dominate, maybe Ketria Triome. I think I would take the Triome here if I want to draft a reasonable deck. But I think the power of the Goggles is just too strong to ignore. I know I'm overvaluing this card, but it's also just very, very good. Let's see. Let me think about this. It's either Goggles or Triome. It's Goggles. It's just too much fun. I can't not do it. Look at this. There's Swans. Oh man, that means Seismic Assault is probably in here too. That seems so hard to make work, but I'm not against it. There's Electro Dominance and Kolaghan's Command. I think again, I like Kolaghan's Command more in this format. I know they're both good with Goggles, and if you copy this with Goggles, you can do X damage twice and then cast 2 spells from your hand for free, which actually is pretty awesome. But I think Kolaghan's Command is just a little bit stronger because there's so many good artifacts to kill in this format, like whatever this is, Bolas' Citadel, Sunforger is also really sweet. Like the 7 mana card that like adds a bunch of mana. So I'm going to take the command. Maybe we'll wheel the Electro Dominance. It's unlikely, but we're going to get a good good card from that pack regardless, I think. It's a bad one. I do like Atris. Atris is very good. Rashmi, whenever you cast the first spell each turn, reveal a top card, and you can cast it without paying its mana cost. Also pretty nice. Take an extra turn after this one. The problem is it just costs so much mana. I know you can delve it out for 3, but even that triple blue is a lot to pay. I'm just going to take Atris. I think this card is very good. It also goes well with Shelldock Isle, so we'll just take that. Oh, we did it! Yes! Yes, we did it! Okay, Cruel Ultimatum. So, again, I don't know too much about the format. I think there is a decent chance Cruel Ultimatum comes around, but I'm going to draft a little bit more conservatively because, again, I haven't drafted this format. This is my second time. And I think the correct pick would either be Treasure Map or Exotic Orchard and try to wheel Cruel Ultimatum. But there's 10 cards left. Maybe not even then. There's not so many cards left to wheel. And this plus Pyromancer's Goggles is just the actual dream. So we're going to go... Oh man. I think I just took one ultimatum. I need to pick up a Blade Crypt here. I need to cast my spells, and I need fixing to make that work. So we're going to draft a little bit Discipline. I love this card, but can't really make both of these work in the same deck. I mean, it's possible, but there's also a chance Inspired Ultimatum comes around, so I'm not going to go too deep. This Mythos, create a token that's a copy of target permanent, and if you spend Teamer colors, it fights up to one creature you don't control. That's cool, but I think we're just going to take a Hallowed Fountain. This can make some off-color fetches help our mana. And there's also Erebos' Intervention. Target creature gets -X/-X and you gain X life, or exile cards from graveyard. Also a really good card. But I think again we're going to take the fixing and stay a bit open. There's two reasons why taking fixing here is good. The first is it helps us stay open, we can draft more cards and play like a more interesting deck. The second reason is it de-incentivizes our opponents from going multicolored, because if they don't have the fixing to make a many colors deck work, then, you know, we take all the fixing pack 1, and then pack 2 we can wheel a bunch of sweet cards like Cruel Ultimatum that, because nobody else has fixing, we get to put in our deck and just dominate with. So I'm going to take Sacred Foundry. I think, again, Sunblast Angel could be an interesting consideration, but, Thrill of Possibility. Yes, instant speed, Power Mansion's Goggles value. I was going to say Ballista would be nice, but you basically need to take like a critical mass of red spells so that the turn you resolve this, when you untap, actually even the turn you resolve this, it's just super valuable. So we'll take that. Lightning Helix and Jaya Ballard. Oh no! Oh, I kind of need both of these, huh? I guess I don't need Jaya Ballard that much. We'll just take the Helix. That's a really sweet spell to cast and a really awesome one to double. I'm trying to think if it is in any way possible that I cast or that I get the other Ultimatum back. That would be the actual dream. We'll see if we can get there. And we get Sunforger requires you to have a creature in play. So I guess we take Swans. If a source would deal damage to it, prevent that damage, and the controller draws cards. I'll still take it. I don't know if I'm going to play it, but let's see. There are fewer than 6 creature cards in your graveyard, sacrifice a creature. So I guess we just take the Absent. Probably not going to play it, but who needs creatures, right? 5 mana, 7/3. Tramples dealt by toughness. We'll just take Doom Whisperer. 6/6 is pretty big, but again, I'm probably not playing that. I'll keep Swans like over here alongside Absent. I think it's a little bit risky, but because we're playing Goggles and we are kind of incentivized to like get a bunch of lightning bolts and such, it's possible we just play this as a value card that we can bolt and draw our deck. Oh man, that was only pack 1. There's so much fun stuff here. Okay, what do we want out of this pack? There's Mythos. I think this is just a decent removal spell. It kills anything. Joyra does allow us to play Cruel Ultimatum, but I don't think I need to take Joyra that highly. There is a Verdant Catacombs, and right now we have Blood Crypt and Underground Sea. So this does represent quite a bit of good fixing. The other option would be taking Dimir Signet. And I kind of like that a bit more because Signet, it ramps us, because this deck is really going to be probably trying to go like turn 2 Accelerant and then start playing big spells on turns 4 and 5. So Signet helps with that, and it is fixing as well. The other reason for taking this is there's only one 2-mana Accelerant here, but there are 3 duels, all of which help us. I think Verdant is significantly better than these two, but I wouldn't be mad if I got either Temple or Fetid Pools. So I'm going to take the Signet because there's just more other cards that I can try and wheel. Okay, well, Lighthouse Chronologist looking a little weird. What's going on over there, my dude? So this is the Triome for Jeskai colors. I like that. There is Vraska's Contempt, just a very good removal spell. This also has Cycling. I kind of think I should be taking this. I need to look at what this is. 9 mana. Each player votes for time or money. For each time vote, take an extra turn. This seems very bad. It's 9 mana to take an extra turn and get control of a permanent, most likely. Yeah, that's a little bit too expensive for me. I mean, it's worse than Cruel Ultimatum. Yeah, I'm just going to take the Contempt. Good removal with the extra life gain, I think, is what I'm going for. Avacyn's Judgment, Watery Grave, Insidious Will. Counter target spell. You may choose 2 new targets for target spell, and then instant or sorcery spell. That's fine. This is 2 mana, 2 damage divided as you choose. And the madness cost is going to be very hard for this deck to choose. So it's basically going to be 2 damage Yeah, I'm not in love with that. I think we're just going to take this Watery Grave and be pretty happy about it. I'm going to wheel something out of this pack, so we're going to take the dual land this time. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of good ones. Volcanic Island, Arid Mesa, Commit to Memory, Violent Eruption, 4 damage, divided as you choose among any number of targets. That's a really nice hit off Pyromancer's Goggles, but I think we're gonna take... this is kind of hard. There's Volcanic. I could also just try and pick up an Elspeth Sun's Champion. She kind of just ends games on her own, but I guess I'm probably more interested in Violent Eruption first. This is going to be challenging because I really do want this in my deck. And my fixing is already decent. And I'm probably going to wheel some of these. Yeah, I'm going to take the Eruption. Just prioritizing playables a little bit because I'm seeing a lot of fixing. And I did cut quite a bit of it from the previous pack. So maybe people don't need as much fixing as they did before. That doesn't make sense. Wait a second. No, it does. So if you're drafting an ambitious deck, you're going to need significantly more fixing. I don't know what I'm saying. Ignore everything I just said. Searing Wind is a funny win condition, but it will probably come around. But it is 20 with Pyromancer's Goggles. Chainer, Nightmare Adept. Discard a card. You can cast creature spells. Again, we're not playing creatures. I think this cube is not about creatures. It's about taking Dragon Skull Summit. Alright, what do we got here? Ooh, Cathartic Reunion. I might be going a little bit too deep on Goggles, but I don't think so because Cathartic Reunion and Thrill of Possibility both also really help us dig through our deck so that we can find Shelldock Isle or enable Shelldock Isle. So I am very interested in that. The other option would be taking Spectral Sailor because this repeatable card draw turn after turn is also really nice. And it could just help us close out a late game where like we've killed a bunch of stuff, we have the Sailor, and it is a creature to go with Kolaghan's Command. Nah. Who plays creatures? Fiery Temper, Liliana, Canyon Slough, Gilded Goose. Aw. You know, I wasn't a fan of the alternate arts at first, but a lot of them are quite adorable, so I'm more okay with it. The biggest issue I have with this card is it doesn't really look like a magic card. It just looks like a picture of a goose. Not that saying the picture of the goose is bad, but it just doesn't look like a magic card. And now that we have these 2 discard outlets, and we have some madness cards going on, I might just take this Fiery Temper. It's pretty good with the Goggles, but it's also just good with like other things that we have. Here we're going to take Stuffy Doll because there are like Star of Extinction and other cards like that that are worthwhile, or that are good. Don't really care about creatures with flying, and I don't see myself playing Savannah, so we'll take the Indestructible Creature. So here's where our gamble kind of paid off. We get Fetid Pools back, although I could take a Murderous Rider. I have quite a few playables, so I think I'm just going to take the Fetid Pools. Getting a land that is fixing, but then also like cycles, will probably allow us to play 18 land. And 18 land is actually quite reasonable, especially in a deck running Thrill of Possibility and Cathartic Reunion. So like really the only way we would lose in that case is if we are short on lands, because we could just discard excess ones to these. So running 18 land without too much risk of flooding because some of them have cycling is definitely something I'm interested in. We could take Pyrohemia, I guess. It's not amazing, but I'm not going to be doing anything else. So that's fine. We do get Avacyn's Judgment. Elspeth Tyrrell's also interesting, actually. I don't know if I quite have the fixing, and there is a bit more madness here. X damage divided as you choose. Could also take Ransack the Lab for a little bit more just digging, like turn 2 plays, basically. I guess I'll take the Judgment. It's fine, but not amazing. Sure. Wow, okay, people took all of the fixing from this pack. There is Seasoned Pyromancer, and that actually goes well with... Yeah, actually I like Pyromancer. It enables our Madness cards, and it's like a creature that's not very good for our opponent to kill. I'll take that. Mirror March, what does this even do? Sculptors you control can't attack or block. And then you get a bunch of Sculptors. I see. So basically the idea is you play this, you get a bunch of things, and then you have it die. You're like building an army, but you have to sacrifice this at the end. Seems alright. I'm not playing any of these. Glint Sleeve Siphoner could be like an interesting sideboard card. I don't think I want to play Boros Charm, but it is 4 damage to the face, potentially 8. I honestly thought that was the end of the pack, but we get this little dude. Lady? Whatever this is. They make a bunch of 1/1 insects, and then they can sack a creature to gain a life and draw a card. That's actually quite good. Terrible for this deck, but good in general. Ooh. Oh, a lot of good stuff here. Fallen Shinobi is the dream. Finale of Eternity, destroy up to 3 target creatures with toughness X or less. That's an insane card. It just wipes the board. I really like Mind Stone, and I'm also very interested in the Scalding Tarn. I don't think I even know what Combustible Gearhulk does. You mill 3 cards, then it deals damage to the player equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. So if we're going deep on burn, then Combustible Gearhulk would be good, but I don't think that's going to happen. Collective Defiance, also good with Goggles. I mean, we could be going very deep on that route. I just really, Scalding Tarn can also get both Sacred Foundry and Hallowed Fountain. So this can get like every single card from our... I'm just going to take the Scalding Tarn. It's such good fixing. Star of Extinction. Okay. So we have a late game. And Star of Extinction Stuffy Doll is essentially like how we win the game. Yeah, actually, that seems quite nice. And it's also a board wipe. I think Cloud Blazer is also a card I would take and put in this deck, because now that I have Scalding Tarn, I can get white mana. But this card's just a little bit too much, like too important for our game plan. So we'll take that. Sublime Epiphany. Now that's a card. Torrential Gearhulk goes with instants. I have some instants, but not a whole lot. My only problem with Sublime Epiphany is that one of the best modes is to create a token of a creature you control. And we're only going to be playing like 1 creature ever. So that could make Chain Lightning just better, especially alongside the side. Like with Chain Lightning, we could just put Swans in our deck at this point and then just like start bolting our Swans and kill our opponent that way. So that's a bit interesting to me. You know what? Let me think about this. This is a really good card. So Counterspell, Triggered Ability, Bounce a thing, target player draws, and we could make a token that's a copy of a creature we probably won't have. I think I'm just going to take the Chain Lightning. We're set up to be like a pretty dedicated burn deck at this point, and we even have Pyrohemia to use this as like a way to nuke the board. Ooh, Faithless Looting? So normally I would say Faithless Looting is not that good, but we have Avacyn's Judgment, Fiery Temper, Season's Pyromancer, kind of Violent Eruption, so we can get quite a bit of value out of this. I do like... oh, there's a lot of good cards here. Thematic Compass is actually kind of good. Supreme Will and Steam Vents. Let's see. So I have 29 total, 20 playables. So we are a little bit short on playables because I'm probably not going to be playing either of these. So I think I need to take playables over fixing. So sorry, Steam Vents. Here we just need to decide between Faithless Looting and Supreme Will. And I think I'm going to take Faithless Looting. Maybe. Restless Contempt. We could really deck ourselves. I'm going to take Supreme Will. I already have quite a few discard outlets. And having 1 conditional counterspell really goes a long way, I think. What is this? Exile the top 8 cards of your library. You can put a land onto the battlefield, and then until end of turn for each non-land card type, you may cast a spell of that type from among the exiled cards without paying its mana cost. It costs 8 mana. Don't know about that one, but we'll see what else. This makes a Rhino, and I don't have any green fixing, so I'm not doing that. I guess I can take Spitting Image. If my opponent has some good big creatures, I can just copy them, because I don't think I'm really going to be playing anything else. Unless I play Rasheen Meanderer, 4 mana, 4/4. I can cast X spells. I have 1 of them. No, I'll just take this for the sideboard, I guess. Blasphemous Act, Prophetic Bolt. 2 good ones. I think this deck wants Prophetic Bolt. So good with Goggles, just good on its own. Yeah, that actually is a really nice pickup. Sorry, Blasphemous Act. Ooh, Maelstrom Nexus. The first spell you cast each turn has Cascade. They're speaking my language. I think a lot of my cards are sorceries. Oh, actually there's a decent number of instants, but probably again just going for a Braid. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or enchantment. That's fine, we're just going to take a Braid. Not missing out on too much else. I guess Thunderblast, if I do want to go like all in on burn, could be interesting because it's a 5 mana 7/2 haste. So if I've like wiped their board, no, I think a Braid's better. Ooh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Railstorm Conduit? Yes. Whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. I want Rail and Censor. Oh, they're both so good. I think Rail's probably better. Yeah, it just seems insane in this deck, right? Yeah, we'll take Rail. Ooh, Collective Defiance and Finale. What does this do? Death Touch? Add 2 mana of any color, and whenever you cast a spell with X in its mana cost, make a Hydra. That card does so many things, which I guess explains the artwork. That artwork is insane. What is going on there? Finale versus Collective Defiance. I mean, this card is very good, right? Kill 3 creatures. I'm not going to be bringing stuff back. I think I like Defiance. And what do? Create a token that's a copy of a target creature card in your graveyard. Again, we're not playing creatures. Settle the Wreckage. We will take Response Resurgence. Although, I could potentially want Divest more. Because we already have a ton of removal. Nah. I don't like reactive cards. And the fact that I can double this off of Goggles seems quite worthwhile. So I think this actually is a Swans deck. We have Swans Pyrohemia combo, which means basically Swans in play doesn't take any damage from Pyrohemia, and then we can spend 1 mana to draw a card and also do damage to creatures. There's Faithless Looting. Part of me, let me think about this. Part of me thinks I'm supposed to take Thada Adele instead. I have so much like discard and stuff, and I don't really have... I know I have a couple Madness cards, but I don't need too many enablers for those. I think they're fine on their own. And Thada Adele gives me a sideboard in matchups like maybe the mirror match, where I don't care about all of my burn, but I do care about pressuring the opponent. So after they've seen that my deck has no creatures, I can bring in Thada Adele, and she's a 1-card win condition. She takes their things. She has Island Walk, which will be very relevant in this matchup. I guess I'll just take Bone Miser. I don't know. Yeah, the Island Walk, because the matchups where she'll matter will be against blue decks. She takes artifacts, and imagine like they played against us, right? They take our Pyromancer's Goggles, and that's just game over. Ooh. I'm never going to make Coalition Victory work, but I will take it. I do love that that is in the cube, but it's not for us. So, as it turns out, we actually don't need that much fixing. I think I am going to play Lightning Helix, so we will play white for that, but this seems like a pretty reasonable 17-card deck, or 17-land deck, because Dimir Signet is kind of like a land. I could run 18 again because I do have Thrill of Possibility and Cathartic Reunion. And if I get rid of Vraska's Contempt, my mana gets a lot better. So I'm actually going to do that. Although, I have a lot of fixing, right? So right now I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black sources for free. No, I think that's okay. I think we're fine. I'm just going to run 18 land. All this discard, basically the one way I lose this is not drawing enough lands. So we'll just keep going. Yeah, I have so much looting. Do I want a Plains? I have 1 white card. I guess Swans is kind of a white card. And right now I have 1, 2, 3 white sources. So 4 would make Lightning Helix a lot more castable. You know what? I think I might remove Lightning Helix just for this time and play Vraska's Contempt instead, because it's just easier on this deck to cast. And that can let me get rid of Hallowed Fountain. I'm going to keep Sacred Foundry because it helps me cast Swans. I want to see... I don't think Hallowed Fountain helps with my fixing, like with all their fetches. The only fetch I have is Scalding Tarn, which can already get blue. So I think we're fine there. And then in this case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue sources. Oh, and I have triple black for Cruel Ultimatum, so I want to go heavier on swamps anyway. So this makes more sense to me. And then for black, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is totally fine because Cruel Ultimatum is a late game card anyway. And then red, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to add a red source. 18 land seems totally fine to me. A little bit 4-drop heavy, but we do have a lot of early interaction, so I think we're safe. See you guys round 1. Well, this is a good hand. Playing against Dark Omen 13. I'm going to keep this hand. We're going to go Dimir Signet. I'm going to try and save Thrill of Possibility for as long as possible. Ooh, the Swans. So I think I'm actually going to fetch because I don't want to draw too many more lands. So like the Minor Thinning plus we're going to get whatever the Shockland version of Underground Sea is. Watery Grave, right? Because I want blue, black. I can cycle Fetid Pools. Yes, so we're going to get Watery Grave. There's Blood Crypt. So I'm going to play Mountain. This just really opens the mana possibilities I have going forward. I'm a little bit scared of my opponent's Golgari Signet, but I guess we'll see. And because they're playing green-black, I'm just going to run out... Oh, there are 3 colors. They know what's up. Because of that, I'm just going to run out Swans, I think. Ooh, Birthing Pod. Okay. Here's why I value like Kolaghan's Command and Abrade so highly. So I can just play Swans this turn. It's a little bit risky if they like damage it, but it's also a 4/3 flyer, so it does pressure them a little bit. And the hope here is I draw something like Chain Lightning. In fact, I think the hope is I draw exactly Chain Lightning, because then I can go Pyromancer's Goggles, Chain Lightning, copy it, like do a ton of damage or draw 6 cards. But opponent has Kitchen Fink's Birthing Pod, so a little bit scary. It is nice that I have so much artifact destruction though. And by so much I mean I think 2. Probably Chupacabra. Oh, whenever another creature enters the battlefield you gain life and they can populate. That's not that scary actually. It's also not a good card for them to sacrifice. So I'm on board with that. Here we get to go. See, it's kind of tough because I can Thrill of Possibility and then there's 2 draw steps I could hit that would just kill Birthing Pod. Because I don't like just casting Pyromancer's Goggles and passing turn here. I think it's way too reactive. Yeah, I think way too reactive. So we're going to go Swamp, discard a Swamp. I just want to find a hit to kill Birthing Pod, because I think if I can do that, I'll be in very good shape. Well, alright. I need 2 turns. Am I going to block with Swans? I don't think I'm going to win off damage. I think I'm going to win off of Cruel Ultimatum just decimating them. But they have 2 turns of Birthing Pod just sitting there. I don't think that's going to work out for me. Yep, that's what I thought. But, I mean, they could have done that last turn. I guess maybe they wanted life gain because they could play around the thing that does 20. That would be clever if they were playing around like copied Destroy the World or whatever that's called. So we can go Mountain into Goggles. And do I have the mana for Cruel Ultimatum? I have the red, I have the black, I have the blue. Yeah. So next turn, we're in business. If they don't kill my Goggles. They would need a 5 mana creature that does that. If I survive 3 turns against an uncontested Birthing Pod, I don't know. It is draft. Okay, so they're going to make a token and populate. That's kind of guaranteed here. As long as it's not too scary. Please no acidic slime. Just like a bunch of creatures. Perfect. Wingmate Rock. Perfect. I know they gain a bunch of life, and that's moderately annoying, but I really could not care less about this. And the fact that they did not attack with Tristani just tells me that basically their turn is going to be spent populating. I'm going to cycle Fetid Pools. Ooh, Pyromancer's pretty good too. Ooh, Chain Lightning's pretty good too. So let's cast a Cruel Ultimatum. So this is red, this will be blue, this will be red, this will be black. And the game plan here is to, they don't have days or anything. Yeah, let's just Cruel Ultimatum them copied. The True Dream. Same targets. So their hand is completely gone. They lose all of their creature. They don't lose all their creatures. They just lose 2 creatures. Okay, that's a little bit worse than I would have hoped for. Whoa, 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 whoa. They let Cruel Ultimatum resolve before populating the bird? It's a bold move, but we will accept it. So I don't want to play Swans because my Star of Extinction, like, I can't cast it anymore. So that's a no-go from me. I also can't really abrade that, so we're gonna go Blood Crypt tapped, pass turn, and I kind of want to just discard my Swans and Sacred Foundry, and I do want a bit of land, but I have enough. That was beautiful. So now I can abrade, kill Birthing Pod. Unless their 6-drop is really scary, I can just win. I can also double Star of Extinction if I need to. Oh, I didn't even look at their hand. They have Noxious Gearhulk, Sun Titan, Dragonlord Atarka, Heartless Act. Okay, well, a lot of their 6-drops are in hand, so they might not even have anything to Birthing Pod into. They don't have anything! Oh my goodness gracious. Alright, so I think I want to save my Star of Extinction. Do I? I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. So I can go Seasoned Pyromancer, discard Avacyn's Judgment, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this goes X damage divided as you choose among 2 targets. Any number of targets. So it would be 12 damage divided as I choose. That's pretty tempting. It does leave them with Birthing Pod, but I think that's probably good enough. Sure. We're going to discard Avacyn's Judgment, and I have enough red so we can discard a mountain here. And then we will pay the madness. Cast this. Targeting... Yeah, I want to kill the Wingmate Rock. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 there. So X is 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3 there. Yes. Okay, that worked out. Go ahead. Alright, game 1 is down, and they're playing a creature deck. Who would have known? I am not really that scared of this matchup whatsoever. Part of me wants to put in Spitting Image because they have a lot of creatures with good enter the battlefield effects. But the other part of me realizes that this matchup seems almost unwinnable for them. So let me just run it back. Oh yeah, this is the deck we drafted. Keeping this. Shelldock Isle, Stuffy Doll. What could go better? Shelldock Isle is going to hit our Cruel Ultimatum. We get a nice Chain Lightning going. Okay, not the best, but at least we don't have to draw through all those lands. Doesn't matter because we're going to shuffle. So I'm kind of incentivized to wait as long as possible to shuffle, unless I like decide I want to draw lands, because there are now 3 land on the bottom. You can go Mountain, Signet, pass turn. Okay, that's not Birthing Pod. Basically, I'm not scared of anything aside from Birthing Pod. Here's our Star of Extinction. I think we're going to Chain Lightning the Golem. Then play... Actually, at this point, I don't mind drawing lands. I know I went through that whole speech, but I think a land is fine here. As long as they don't have Birthing Pod. And they don't have anything. It's gotta be Restoration Angel. That's my read here. Why else do you just pass with 4 mana available? So I was kind of wrong in Chain Lightning the Golem, but that happens. So what's my mana look like? I have double red, double blue, good amount of black. I think I want more red mana, so I get like a Blood Crypt. Yeah, he's okay. So because I think they have Restoration Angel, we're just going to play Stuffy Doll. I'm not going to go for any Cathartic Reunion nonsense. And choose a player. Whenever it's dealt damage, deals that much damage to the chosen player. Well, if we draw 1 land, we win the game. So that's pretty fun. They didn't have Resto. Wow, they must just have a terrible hand then. Did they mulligan? Okay, Tristani might help them live, but this is kind of over, right? There's fetid pools. I don't even need to do anything. I don't even want to cast Cathartic Reunion. Okay, fetid pools, play it. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, play this. I can hit them for 2, that just doesn't seem worth it, so we'll wait. We can Cathartic Reunion into Avacyn's Judgment later on, and that should be fine. I'm trying to think, like, even if they do something crazy like Wingmate Rock might be their best play. Noxious Gearhulk doesn't really do much. Sun Titan doesn't do a whole lot. They're not even attacking. Alright, if Manatithe is in this cube, I'm willing to run into it, but if it is not, then this game's over. I didn't even need to see it. Alright, see you guys next round. Ooh, opponent's playing Karuga as their companion. I like it. I didn't even know Karuga was in here, but that seems very fun in cube. Also, probably pretty good against my deck. I'm going to keep this. Because, I mean, it's got all my colors. I actually cannot cast my Violent Eruption, but that's fine. Karuga is a very, very strict drafting requirement. So I think I'm basically going to keep up Supreme Will so that I can counter it. I'll lead on Blood Crypt. We're going to cycle these fetid pools because this is a lot of land, but having a way to counter Karuga seems really important in this matchup. Also having Rail seems very good. So this turn we're going to go Underground Sea. Kind of bluff a counterspell or something. So this is their first turn they can do a thing. Oh, they just get Karuga back. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know if this is good or bad for them. It could be good because my deck is also very slow, but it could be bad because, I don't know, things. I want to cast Railstorm Conduit. There's a lot of things I want to do here. Seasoned Pyromancer. I don't think I want this Violent Eruption. Karuga's a 3-5 or 5-4. Okay, so I can just kill Karuga, but I don't think killing Karuga is the answer. So I think I'm going to play the Pyromancer, discarding Violent Eruption Sacred Foundry. That gets me something in play so I can start pressuring them. And that way holding up Supreme Will isn't too bad. I know I can get value out of Eruption later, but I have so many good cards in my deck. Okay. Not cast it. Go. So if they don't play anything important here, I can just play Atris probably. But it seems like this opponent knows how to draft the cube because there are many colors. And this only cast creatures? No. Yikes. Raid. I don't think I'm going to hold up mana. If they just go Karuga, that's fine. I can attack. I think lowering their life total is pretty important. So let's attack with both. Nice. And then we get to play a Mountain and cast Atris. They can copy it if they want to. Yep, discarding Violent Eruption, I'm not a fan of anymore. Vraska's Contempt versus 2 cards. Oh boy. I mean, Contempt gives me an answer to Bramble Sovereign, but the 2 cards could be anything. They could even be Vraska's Contempt. Oh, I love Atris. It's so interesting. What do I take? I'm gonna get greedy. All right. I don't know why I just default to taking the pile of 2 every time. It's probably a terrible idea, especially considering I'm losing on board, but one way I can win this is by racing them, because I mean they're at 16 and I do have Fiery Temper, possibly the ability to do a bunch of damage with Rail. Prophet of Krufix is, oh boy. Okay, well, it's nice that I have a Braid to deal with the Prophet. Prophet of Krufix is one way to make a Karuga deck get enough value off their lands to be worthwhile. That's really scary. That's a lot of land. We're gonna do this. I guess we abrade the Prophet now. And then I Supreme Will the Karuga in response. Yeah, so counter target spell unless they pay 3. So that turn went quite well for me. Now I get to hit for 3 damage because this has Menace. What on earth is this? Whenever 1 or more creatures you control fight or becomes blocked, draw a card. Double target creature's power until end of turn, and okay, they can make a copy but is a legend, so that doesn't do anything. And I can just kill it. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control fight or becomes blocked, draw a card. Very interesting. I guess we're gonna Shelldock. Shelldock's gonna get some value very soon. Ever Judgment, Stuffy Doll. Guess we're gonna get Stuffy Doll. Again, that's just a land that drew us cards. That's all it did. Double the power until end of turn. I think I like just killing this. They just concede. Yep. They know what's up. That's really funny. So, Spinning Image actually seems good in this deck because we know all of their creatures are going to be expensive. I don't remember if they had islands, but I don't know how many artifacts they're going to be playing. Let me think about cards I want to get rid of. A Braid actually seems nice. Response Resurgence does deal with a lot of things they could have. Pyrohemia is a bit weak. Honestly, somehow my deck is just like perfect. I think we're going to get rid of Pyrohemia because their deck's just going to be full of chunkers and I probably won't have enough red mana to kill everything. So we're just going to take Spitting Image and hopefully get some copies of big dudes. Opponent once again reveals Karuga, but we have Dimir Signet Swans. And yeah. Basically any hand we have that has acceleration in it is going to be very challenging for the opponent to win. Because they're not doing anything until turn 3. And that's just so slow. So even though they're on the play and they do have like a guaranteed massive card draw effect, it might just be too slow. So here we can lead with Blood Crypt. They do nothing. Oh boy. So I can, it depends on what I draw. I might still, oh, they missed the land. Oh no, opponent. I'm so sorry, but I'm also not that sorry because they did draft this deck. I think we're gonna discard Sacred Foundry, playing a Swamp. Actually, I'm just gonna wait. I'm basically gonna win the late game here with Pyromancer's Goggles. If they don't draw land here, they might just concede. Rada. As long as it's your turn, this first strike, you may play the top card of your library at any time, and you may play lands from the top of your library. Okay, that's a pretty good card. Did not draw Chain Lightning, but this is gonna do some damage. Better of a way to kill this. Also, an important thing here, if they do not play a land with Rada, that means they're missing a land drop this turn. Okay, so they did play land with Rada, so that undoes their mulligan. And that's quite good. I need to draw Chain Lightning. Stuffy Doll does not do it. So we're going to Pyromancer's Goggles. I can draw 6 with Cathartic Reunion. That seems fine to me. We're going to discard Sacred Foundry and Swans because I don't really need them. Casual draw 6. Nice. So I get to go abrade the Fayborough Elder. And I could Shelldock Isle, but I think it's more important to hold up a counterspell here because I just have the win next turn basically. What is this? When it enters the battlefield, make a Rhino token, and then when it attacks, populate. Yeah, that's fine. I'm actually just going to let that happen. We're going to Star of Extinction away probably their green mana that makes Karuga even harder to cast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, Prophetic Bolt. I mean, there's so many things I can do here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we can go Shelldock Isle into Star of Extinction. Fiery Temper, Vraska's Contempt. We'll take the Contempt. And I'm actually going to intentionally miss out on Stuffy Doll value, because I don't need to. We kill this. All their creatures die. Yeah, we'll kill their green sources. Haha, we did it! This is why I take Pyromancer's Goggles so highly. It's stupidly strong. Alright, see you guys in the finals. Alright, we are here in the finals for the second trophy in a row. So I've played 2 drafts of this format and we're going for 2 trophies. And this hand looks good enough to keep. We will start there. Oh man, please play the card that looks for creatures and discards them. That would be amazing. I don't know why they would have that, but yes! Oh, it's so good! Goggles, every time. Best card in the deck. Excited to see what you came up with this. This is such a cool cube. I absolutely love this cube. Yep, they're playing Charming Prince. Not going to be enough. I think I'm just going to Evanston's Judgment the Prince. I don't have any discard enablers right now. Although, we'll think about it. If I draw useful spells, then I might wait. But I think it's just in my best interest to not take damage from an opponent who appears to be like either an aggressive creature deck or like one of the life gain combo decks. They put one bottom, one top. Okay. Oh. Well, because I have Pyrohemia, I'm still just going to kill this. This is 2 damage, right? Yeah. I did miss a land drop, so one way I lose is like falling behind on being able to cast spells. I wish it would last longer. I really want to try and make 5 color work. Well, you can watch my videos. Yeah, it's sad. They put up the good cubes for like a week, right? Like Amaz's Peasant Cube was up for a week. This cube up for a week. There's like 4 days left. And then the bad cubes like Modern Cube, which are... there's no thought put into them. It's just like, these are cards that are legal in Modern. Those are up for like a month. It's just kind of disappointing, really. I would draft this cube every day if I could. I think I'm in, at least for the first 2 drafts, I'm enjoying this more than Vintage Cube. Right now it seems very unbalanced, so maybe it could... No. So maybe it could do with some balancing. Mangara killing a land would be a little bit problematic, huh? How do I do this? Is this 1 to any target? No, opponent or planeswalker. So there's a couple options. I can just cast Pyrohemia, and that'll kind of force them to kill it. No, that would be really bad actually, because then they could Mangara a land and that would kill Pyrohemia. So we're not going to do that. I think I'm just going to play the Signet and pass turn, because developing my mana seems important. And for those wondering, I cannot Signet into Fiery Temper because this gives me blue-black and I need double red. But by doing it this way, I have the option next turn to go Pyrohemia and then pay 1 to like kill Mangara. We'll see what they have though. When it says, speaking of me drafting 5 color, I mean, what did you expect? So I really want them to attack. That would be very, very incorrect, I would think. Ooh, there's no way they can fall and Shinobi me. Okay. I think ninjas is a thing, but this went really well for me now. Oh, oh, I'm sorry, opponent. That attack there was unfortunate. I will gladly trade my Pyrohemia today for your Mangara and Coffin Queen later. I'm sorry. I mean, it was 5 damage do 2 damage split, so it's like, it's not the most value I've ever seen, but it was a ton of value still. Seasoned Pyromancer. What do I want to do here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can go Pyromancer's Goggles and have 2 mana. Or I could just play Ral Zarek and start scrying. Ral is harder for them to kill. Yeah, we'll do Ral, because next turn I can do something like Pyromancer's Goggles into Pyromancer or something like that. Scalding Tarn I will put on top. I mean, next turn I get to do a lot of things. And their hand's probably full of removal. Whip of Erebus. Ooh, that's moderately problematic. It's actually some good value. So what do I want to do now? Because they're able to get back Mangara and exile any permanent I play, which is probably Pyromancer's Goggles. Although, if they do that, I actually don't care too much. Pyromancer's Goggles is actually very challenging. I think I'm just going to uptick Rel and see what I'm drawing. Supreme Will. That's fine. Actually, that makes this turn a little bit better, I think, because now I can go Pyromancer, discarding Fiery Temper, Vraska's Contempt. There we go. Now we're gonna cast this, targeting them for red. And that goes face. So we're essentially just going face here, and I think we can do a lot of things with goggles later on, and we're basically trying to debate them into whipping back Mingara on Ral, but I have most of my bases covered now. Yeah. Okay, so they exile that, that's fine. And now we're in very good shape. Mingara's gone. Scalding Tarn grabs Watery Grave? Yeah. Ooh, now we're doing it. Alright, let's attack. Play the goggles. 3, 4, 5. And I can actually Thrill of Possibility at instant speed if I need to. But I also just get to hold up Supreme Will, so this seems very good. In fact, I can kill them next turn almost for sure. Vona, that's mean. I guess I just counter that? I guess, no, we just let that resolve actually. I don't think any of that matters. And I can double cast Thrill of Possibility. Discarding Supreme Will, draw 4. We got Swans with Violent Eruption. Oh, that's game. Alright, Cruel Ultimatum. Let's live the dream here. Black will give us blue. I need more black. I need a blue. Black. Ultimatum. Them. Yes, we did it! Oh, it's such a game-breaking card. Same targets. So their hand is gone. They actually just die here, but oh man, I can't read the chat, but this seems like a nightmare scenario for the opponent. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is their whip, because I can deal with pretty much everything else that I saw. Exile is a little bit important because they do have some graveyard shenanigans, but I think all of my cheap burn is just really good against them. So couldn't have had a better pre-board configuration. Run it back. Alright, game 2, this hand's amazing. I'm gonna keep perfect mana. I mean, this is why I took fixing so highly. Thraben Inspector? That's like cheating. Fiery Temper. I'm not gonna kill Thraben Inspector. I'm just going to play Scalding Tarn and fetch up a Watery Grave, I think? Oh, this is hard to say. I'm very, very happy that I'm playing 18 land because, like, again, I think the only way this deck can lose is if I stumble on mana. Or they have a matchup that doesn't care about creatures. Am I even going to cast anything next turn? I don't think so. So I'm not even going to fetch. I'm just going to wait. That was a good draw. We'll go Swamp. Pass turn. They crack a clue. So now I'm going to cast a spell most likely because I want to guarantee that I can hit my third land. Oh no, next turn we're going to Thrill of Possibility of Fiery Temper. That's the game plan. So do I have a red-blue duel? I think I took something over Volcanic. They don't do anything. I guess we're about to find out. Okay, so I do not have a blue-red duel, but I think I'm likely to hit blue off of Thrill of Possibility. So we're just going to grab a Blood Crypt, because I want double red so I can cast Thrill into Fiery Temper. Pretty good too. Go. And even if they don't do anything, I'm still going to cast Thrill because I want to hit land drops. Yeah, I'll wait till end of turn. I'm willing to take the extra one, because basically every turn they don't cast a creature is better for me. Okay, now we do this. Thrill, discarding Fiery Temper. Kill that. Here. Restoration Angel, okay. Maybe I should have been more aware of that existing, but I didn't see it game 1, and I would have made that play anyway. It seems silly to target their face. Okay, Defiance can kill the Restoration Angel. I can also Vraska's Contempt the Restoration Angel if I want to, just to be more mana efficient. Alright, I think we're going to Defiance with 2 modes. 4 damage to a creature, 3 damage to an opponent. 4 there, 3 there. We'll save Vraska's Contempt. My deck works much better against creature decks, which is decidedly not what you are running. I think creatures are really bad in this format. Like, the fact that I don't have any removal or anything for my opponent to do, it just makes this so good for me. So even though they're up on the exchange with like Resto, Thraben Inspector stuff, ooh, Veto's fun. Polygon's Command is nice. I want sending a lot of messages over here. Learning that now, but I agree. Yep. I don't really have any plays, so I think we just pass turn. I could Chain Lightning the Veto. Actually, I kind of like that. Chain Lightning Veto, and then hold up Kolaghan's Command. That seems nice. They crack their clue. Go. All we need to do is get up to 7 mana. And I've been trying to draw into it. We've drawn 15 cards and only seen 4 out of 18 lands. But I think as long as we can draw a land in the next like 2 or 3 draw steps, we should be fine. Vona, a little bit scary. So I think we're going to save this whip, or the Kolaghan's command for whip. And because I just drew Goggles, we're going to contempt the Vona now. I just need a land. Please, I'm running 18. Yeah, so there's the whip. So now I get to do the backbreaking play of... I'm not even sure what I want to do. We're going to do it on our turn regardless. There's our land. Okay. I'm going to Kolaghan's command now. Ah, it's so good if I wait 1 turn. Like, unbelievably good if I can wait 1 turn. But we're winning anyway. There's no way I'm losing this game. So discard a card, destroy an artifact. I don't care about the 3-bin inspector. They discard a land. There's so much more to be doing, it seems, even with a Necro deck. It's a challenging format for sure. So, like, the first couple times drafting it are probably just a learning experience. I want them to have no follow-up. Awesome. Okay, so they have 2 cards in hand. They might just be land. There's 2 ways I can go about this. Stuffy Doll goes for the immediate win with any land off the top, and I kind of like that. It also like stops me from taking incremental damage. With the Awakener, sure. You can get a creature back so they can get back Restoration Angel, but any land and we win. Untapped. Please, deck. No, we didn't get there. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm just going to Violent Eruption, targeting Isareth for 3, them for 1. Do this now so they can't get back any creatures. And then pass turn. It's possible I was supposed to just wait, but I think we're winning regardless of what happens. That's so much removal. You have no idea. Okay, Gisela is cool. Come on, deck, give us a land. 1 damage to itself. Land off the top. Beautiful. That'll do it. Killing your swamp. Oh man. I'm gonna open the chat so we can say good games. Great playing against you, B. Shipley. Oh man. Alright, that was a decisive trophy right there. I'm sorry, Brian Shipley. I had to do it to you though. So we're currently 2 for 2. I guess we're gonna try and go for another trophy streak. Let's see if we can get there. This was a 3060, so I think I figured out this format just a little bit. See you guys next time.